Yeah, I teach a lot of women of color how to quit their jobs and how to negotiate incredible salaries, and it's my favorite thing in the entire world. Um,
Mhm.
to teach other women how to be badasses and how to not necessarily fight for their worth, because I'm not one to say like, there's a book on my desk right now and it's like unrig the game, and I don't necessarily think it's our responsibility to fix what's already broken, to make our bosses value us and all of that. What I do believe is that it's what we can control is the value that we're bringing. We can control the way that we perceive ourselves, the confidence we bring into a role, and advocating for ourselves. Just saying simply, even in times like this, I have people in my community, Mandy Moneymakers, who are asking for raises and getting them.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Mandy, I wanted. So I heard two different opinions on this in the last week
Okay.
about whether you should throw out a number when
Okay.
you go in. So one person said, and these are like financial experts. One person was like, you should let them always like kind of throw it so you can see where they're coming. Because what if they offer you more than what you were even going to ask for? And then I've heard, obviously the flip side, which is what I hear more frequently, is that you need to go in there with a number that you're asking for.
I mean, I think it depends on what level you are in your career. Like, I think you have, for example, Angela, like, you have had such a storied career. I feel like at this point, you probably do have that, like, I'm not getting out of bed for less than whatever. Or, like, I really know my value. You probably also have, I hope, a network of similarly situated people who you can rely on to tell you what's realistic and what you should be asking for. Just this morning, Tiffany was like, oh, don't do that, ask for this. And I think if you're more advanced in your career, it's easier to come in with a certain expectation of what you want. Now, if you're earlier in your career, mid, entry level, and you are coming to the table, you don't know the other person on the other side of the negotiating table. They don't know you. I do think the advice of not giving a number, it makes sense because especially early in your career, you don't have enough information potentially to be throwing out numbers. You definitely could lowball yourself. And so I do think that advice applies. And I think it's also just a good time to remind y'all that all these various opinions are wonderful. I love that you had two different versions of that advice because we need to be open to what's going to fit this situation.
Right.